The best time to kill a dragon is when it's a baby dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And fear magnifies the longer you give it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know you've got a big event coming up at the end of the month and you dwell on it all month, the fear gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The best time to deal with it is immediately, and don't let it grow arms and legs.
Hello and welcome to the Chaos to Clarity podcast. My name is Maggie, aka your business bestie. I teach female coaches, speakers, and course creators to release procrastination and perfection so that they can get more done, book more clients, and have the time freedom that all entrepreneurs crave. This is not your typical business coaching podcast. We're talking about business, life, probably some wooey magic, and probably some singing or referencing song lyrics along the way. So if you're into business building, making more money, and getting a little bit of a mindset shift along with having a good laugh, you're definitely in the right place. I've grown 3 businesses from $0 to consistent 4 and 5 figure months over the last 15 plus years. And now I'm helping you do the same thing. It didn't happen overnight, and it certainly didn't happen without the help of others. They say it takes a village to raise children, and I believe it takes a village to grow a business as well. So in this podcast, you'll find people who help you grow your village, cheer you on, as well as holding you accountable. I'm so excited you're here, and I can't wait for you to listen to each episode. Let's dive in. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Chaos to Clarity podcast. My name is Maggie, and I am so thrilled today. I have Jonathan Clark here with me, and I'm just so excited to have him here on the podcast. He has been a super huge help for me over these last few months, and I'm going to let him tell you what he does and who he helps.
Hey, thank you very much, Maggie. I'm glad to be here, and no pressure, and I need to live up to that introduction. Yeah, I'm Jonathan. I live in Glasgow, Scotland, as you might be able to tell. I've been a business coach, NLP trainer, and hypnotherapist for the last 25 years. So I've got lots of skills that I find useful when I'm dealing with my clients. My clients tend to be people who are really, really good at what they do. So they could be a coach, a consultant, an author, an expert, a speaker, a trainer, and they are world class. Put them in front of a client, they'll get results. But the problem is they're not very good at getting in front of the clients. And one thing I'm quite good at is making other people successful. So if someone's got a message and they want to get that out into the world, then I like to help them.
Awesome. Amazing. Yes. I've learned so much from just all the stuff that we have talked about. And it's really, for me, has been mind blowing, and also just opened up so many opportunities. So I'm so thankful for that. And I think part of the brainchild behind this podcast, definitely, it's been in my mind for a while, but it definitely got louder as we've been working through some of this stuff in the group. And just I'm just amazed at how everything has come together.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to get faster, but you ain't seen nothing yet. You're only halfway through. There's a lot of moving parts, but when you line up all the bits and bobs, it's like a jigsaw piece coming together, and it accelerates. And once you've done a podcast, you can do a book. Once you've done a book, you can do an online course. Once you've done an online course, you can do a retreat. And it's not a case of which one should I do, it's which one should I do first.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no reason why you shouldn't be reaching as many people as you possibly can in as many different formats. Some people like to watch video, some people like to listen to sound, some people like to experience events. So give it to them in any way they want it, people learn differently. So be a good teacher and teach differently.
Right. Yeah. And I really appreciate that, having multiple opportunities to approach something, and then knowing that I have foundations laid, which is something that I help others do, right? I help them lay the foundations to really build their business up. And what better way for me to really teach that than to step into those shoes and do it myself? So, like knowing I have all the content, and then being able to build, and just like that jigsaw puzzle, like everything fits together, and all of a sudden you're standing back going, whoa, I built that?
I did that.
Wow.
I did that, yeah. Yes, it's work. Yes, it's effort. But you know what? You got all the pride, you got all the achievement, you got all the self-satisfaction of having done it. And it's not hard. It's not rocket science. But there are, in any area of life, there are hacks and there are fast tracks. So I was always taught, find someone who's already got what you want. Find someone who's already doing what you want to be able to do, and model them. So I did that in martial arts. I did that in book writing. I've done that in lots of wargaming. I've done it in lots of different things, guitar playing. I want to model somebody who's already doing what I want to be able to do. And guess what? It as Tony Robbins says, it compresses decades into days. It speeds things up.
Right.
And it's getting faster. It's getting faster by the day.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So my first question for you is, what is something challenging that you have overcome in your years of business? So this could be something small, something big, but something kind of like that just stands out for you.
Wow. There's a couple. I think what might be useful to anyone watching this or listening to this would be imposter syndrome. This whole crushing self-belief about, what do I know? There's so many books out there already. Why should I write a book? Or what right have I got to talk about this stuff? Because, it's just little old me. And one of the things I realized was there's a really quick way to dissolve all that. There's a really quick way to banish all that. And it's simple as everything you produce, all your marketing, any articles you write, any blog posts you do, any social media posts you do, should never be about you. They should always be about your target audience. They should always be about your ideal client, which gets you right out of the way. We're not talking about you. We're talking about your ideal client. Talk about their needs, their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations, but also their problems, their headaches, their fears. And that takes you out of the picture. If you are talking about you, it will quickly be turned to, and the reason you need to know this about me is so that you can do X, Y, Z, right? So when you start coming from that attitude, that point of view, you don't really figure. It's not about you. And that was liberating. That was like, holy moly, that really takes the pressure off me. And all you're doing is guiding. All you're doing is being the coach. You're not being like a kind of a guru. You're not being the know-it-all. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm a learn-it-all. I want to learn it all, so I can pass it on to other people. But it'll always be about them. It's never about me.
Yeah, and that's so empowering, right? As someone receiving that, it's so empowering to see like, oh wow, if they can do it, so can I. And exactly. I think that for me, when I think about like writing content or connecting with my ideal client, I know I definitely used to struggle thinking like, well, who's going to want to learn from me? But then I realized I have the power to ask my ideal clients, like, what are your headaches? What do you want to learn about? What's holding you back in your business? And then start speaking to that. And I mean, chances are I've probably navigated through something of that, right? So I have a little story to like hook them in to say, oh, this one time this happened to me, and here's how you can use it. Here's how you can learn from my mistakes, and here's how you can be better. There's so much power in that.
We discount our own experience. We immediately dismiss our little old life as just being that. I like to say to people, if you know how to drive, a car, there's somebody somewhere right now who's housebound who wished somebody would take them out, right? And you could do that for free, or you could do that for free. There's someone right now who would love to learn to swim. If you know how to swim, you could teach someone a skill that you've got. If you can build racing pigeon baskets, you've got a skill that somebody somewhere desperately needs. All you need to do is find them. It's like, okay, I know how to do this thing. Who needs that? I can solve a problem. Who's got that problem? You only need 20, 30 people who have the problem that you can solve, and you'll have a full diary.
Right.
Right. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's baking amazing Bakewell tarts, whether it is, I don't know, racing cars, playing a musical instrument. If you can do something really, really well, then offer people the ability to do that as well, and show them how and teach them how, and you can get paid to monetize your knowledge.
Yeah. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck there where, they think like, oh, I need all these clients, but I mean, really, you don't. You truly don't. At the end of the day, 20, 30 people, even 10 people can change your life, can change your business, change the trajectory of what you're doing.
The next person you speak to could change your life. The next person you meet at a networking event could be the six-figure deal. The next person you meet at a networking event could be your next life partner. You never know. And actually, I have a kind of controversial theory that coaches, consultants, etc., don't actually want clients. They want the income. My coach first asked me way back when I had a coach back in 1997. He said to me, "What do you want?" And I said, "I want 10 clients paying me £149 a month." And he went, "Do you?" And I went, "Yeah." He said, "Or what if one client paid you £1,500 a month? Would that be okay?" And I was like, okay. I was doing it in number of clients and charging a reasonable fee that I thought I could charge, which was, by the way, undercutting everybody else's fee because I was new. Big mistake. It's not the clients I wanted. It was the income I wanted. Right. So that's why I help people write books and do online courses and run events. These are all multiple streams of income. It's not necessarily you being in front of a client, coaching them, or therapy, or one-on-one time. Residual income, one-on-many time, way more efficient and time effective.
Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, they will, they trade in hours versus like one client, 1 hour instead of 1 hour, many different ways to connect with that client, right? Like, so having those opportunities to write a book, to hold an event, to do a workshop, to all that stuff, right? That then opens up so much more opportunity for you to connect and fill your calendar, your diary, and look back and go, whoa, wow, I'm really lucky.
And you can, well, what's that whole thing about labor under correct knowledge? LUX stands for labor under correct knowledge. There comes a point where you don't have to chase people because they come to you. If you've got books out there, you're running live events, you're in the public eye, you're going to networking events, or any one of these things, you're on LinkedIn quite a lot, if you've got a Facebook group, these are all routes to market. These are all rivers feeding your lake. And eventually you start to get busy. You might even have a waiting list, which is a really good position to be in. But they're coming to you. It's not seduction. You're not chasing people and trying to convince them. It's attraction. They're coming to you because you are the go-to guy or the go-to gal who's really good at this skill. And therefore you attract only the people who want that skill. So you talk to less people, but you get more yeses. So it feels counterintuitive to niche that you hear this, target your market. Who's your avatar? You hear this all the time. And everybody's immediate reaction, including mine, is, oh, wait a minute, that's limiting my numbers. I want to spread my net far and wide. Actually, no, you don't. Not everyone with a pulse wants what you've got. You're just looking for the guy. If you're selling painkillers, you're looking for people with headaches. That's all you need. So where are the guys with headaches? If you've heard me say this many a time, if you want to learn to fish, the first rule is find a river with fish in it. Seems kind of obvious, but if your guys are on Facebook, go to Facebook. If your potential clients are on YouTube, go to YouTube. If they don't do online at all, why are you trying to get them online? Meet them where they need to be met. That's the platinum rule.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is one piece of advice that you would tell your younger self?
Oh my goodness. My whole thing was fear. My biggest drawback was fear. So I had a duodenal ulcer by the time I was 19. So I burned a hole in my stomach through being terrified of people. It's a fairly crap superpower. But I realized if I can burn a hole in my stomach with my brain, what else can I do with it? And that's what got me into all the mind stuff. But fear, I was telling myself to feel the fear and do it anyway. The best book title of all time. Heroes do it scared. Firefighters go into the fire scared. It's not that they're not scared, but they still take action. So don't be paralyzed by fear. Don't be immobilized. Still keep chipping it away. You can have anything you want if you're just willing to keep chipping away at it. And don't let the fear stop you. It's okay to be afraid as long as you're working.
Yeah. One of my yoga teachers used to say excitement is fear with breath, or fear is excitement without breath. Right. So she would say, if you're nervous before a yoga class, if you're worried you're going to screw up or whatever, you're going in there to teach, there's 100 people and you've never taught that before, stop and take a few deep breaths, re-regulate your nervous system, and go in there and do it anyway, right? Face the
Correct.
fear, and
Correct.
And chances are it's probably going to be fine, right? You're probably going to rock whatever you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who do you know who's ever died giving a speech? Very few people. Very, very few people. The best time to kill a dragon is when it's a baby dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And fear magnifies the longer you give it. Mm-hmm. So if you know you've got a big event coming up at the end of the month and you dwell on it all month, the fear gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The best time to deal with it is immediately, and don't let it grow arms and legs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I love it. All right. So my last question is, if you were a kitchen utensil or gadget, what would you be and why?
That's great. A kitchen utensil or a gadget. Wow. I always, maybe I can stretch that sideways. I always saw myself as a can of Red Bull energy drink. Because in 9-star key astrology, I'm a metal person, and I am stubborn, and I kind of come across as cold, even though I'm actually soft and squishy inside. And I am full of energy, and I do like to catalyze other people. I like to, motivate other people and get them jazzed up. Mm-hmm. So I think if I'm in your kitchen, I'm probably that can of Red Bull that's sitting on the shelf.
I love that so much. That is so awesome. I love that. I did. Yeah. And that last question was one of those that when I was thinking of like, what can I ask on this podcast that, is not going to be your like typical business coaching advice thing. I was like, I got to use the kitchen utensil question because everyone's answers are different. And I love the reasons why. I think it's so fun to listen to everybody's reasons behind what they tell me. So it's just a great little question that I had to throw in.
I like that. I like that a lot.
That's awesome. All right. Well, please tell everyone how they can connect with you and where they can find you and all of that good stuff. I will post the links in the show notes, but go ahead and tell them anyway.
Well, I'm pretty easy to find. Probably the best place to get me is in my Facebook group, if it's okay to mention that. I have a free Facebook group. You can find us at www.foundhiredpaid. Found Hired Paid, because I like to help people get found, get hired, get paid. Foundhiredpaid.com. That will take you to my Facebook group, which is completely free, where we teach people how to get clients. That's what it's all about. So if you're starting from scratch and you don't know where to start, come and see us. If you're already established, but you've hit a kind of plateau, come and see us.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today. I'm so excited, and I can't wait for everybody to listen to this amazing episode.
Thank you for the opportunity, darling. I shall see you along the way.
Wow. What a great interview. Thank you so much for showing up here on the Chaos to Clarity podcast. Again, my name is Maggie. I'm so excited to connect with you. You can find all of the information, all of the links below in the show notes for today's interview. And I hope you have the best day ever.